Hey everyone, I'm Becky,
And I'm Sarah.
and we're doing Bickering Book Reviews. Today we're talking about Game Changer by Neal Shusterman, which I think I downloaded off of Edelweiss and NetGalley by accident.
And I got it off NetGalley.
I've gotten into this habit of just requesting everything from NetGalley, which is why I'm up to 30 auto approvals, which is amazing, but I also got lots of stuff to read.
I just wish I could rescind some of my requests.
Right,
Like when I get it on one versus the other, or I just wish that was an option.
right. Or
Yeah.
when they wait to give it to you, but that's besides the point. Okay, so this book is about Ashley, who is a boy who everybody calls Ash. He is named after the character Ashley in Gone with the Wind. That comes into play a couple of times. And he's a football player, and he lives kind of in an average town. And his father had been a football star who was in an accident, who blew out his knee, and so he didn't get the scholarship. So he works for a local auto parts company, and his mom's a nutritionist. And they live in an okay house. Got a little brother Hunter. They don't really have a great relationship. And one day during a game, Ash gets tackled. I keep saying Ashley, but they call him Ash through the whole book. Gets tackled, and when he wakes up, the world's a little different. Instead of red stop signs, they're blue. And it turns out that his family's not very wealthy. And he finds out that every time he gets basically a brain trauma, um, he slides into into another dimension, into another version of himself. And some of the dimensions are not great. There's one where segregation is still in place. There are issues with homophobia. There are issues with toxic masculinity. And he's basically just trying to get back to his world.
So, and it's just like the worlds get worse as he goes, though. It never gets better. But then he also kind of comes to find that the worse that the worlds get, that he could see it happening in his own world, if the opportunity and the environment had presented itself. And I think that really gets into I don't typically like multiverse books. I just don't. I
And
don't
I
like them.
do.
And I don't. And so I am not shocked that this wasn't one of my favorites, but I also think the heavy-handedness of he was trying to take on all of the social issues in our world through his multiverse, but it came across very heavy-handed. It felt like he was telling us kind of the point that he was trying to make as opposed to showing us the point that he was trying to make.
It felt like the type of movie you would show kids in seventh grade to teach them not to be racist.
Right. But yes, but then it really didn't deal with the racism. It was
It didn't.
just
It didn't.
it's weird. He talked about the fact that things were segregated and that there were kind of new slang words and slurs and things, but he never really got into kind of the racial issues or anything.
And I just, yeah, no, it was very glossed over, but I felt like I was being preached to.
Yeah.
I like multiverse books, and there were just too many multiverses. The last couple times that he slipped into the next multiverse, I was like, really, really, are we done yet?
Well, and I think the main character was forgetting what was going on in the original world or in his own world. And I think that kind of bled into kind of the reader forgetting,
Right.
where did we start? What's different now? And
I
yeah.
I love Claudia Gray's Firebird multiverse books, and I feel like those I don't even know, it's like she nailed the multiverse, and this was just, I kept thinking about it as I was reading it, and I don't know if it was the narrative voice, I don't know if it was the world building, I don't know. All I know is I had a hard time with this. I finished this book 12 hours ago. I'm having a hard time remembering the characters. I don't care about any of the characters, and stuff that happens to them you should care about. And he's dealing with really important social issues that I am passionate about, but I'm not moved in any way, shape, or form by this book.
I gotta believe that this is just because this is the arc. Because it just feels so half baked. And I love how he writes, and I love where he gets, like, I just have to believe that there's more going to be developed between this, what we read, and the final product. I've got to believe it.
Well, and I didn't like Dry.
Yeah.
And I felt like this is more Dry than Unwind.
It's neither of those. Like, I enjoyed Dry, well enough, but it's not even, it doesn't even feel like either of those.
Well, the kids at my library love Unwind, and I wouldn't like an Unwind fan is not going to like this.
Yeah. Well, and it's more Scythe than either of those, but it's not as good as Scythe.
Well, and then like think about it. Like there are the social issues and social justice angle, and like kids love The Hate You Give, but The Hate You Give fans aren't going to like. Like I don't know, who do I give this book to?
Yeah.
I give this book to when they come in new and I put it on display because it's a new book, the people who are taken in by the cover because the cover is gorgeous.
Yeah.
That is who reads this book. So our rating system starts at the top with 5 unicorns. We've got 2 unicorns. If we don't like it, it's a horse. Where are you?
I want to give it a 3 because it's Shusterman, but I really should give it a 2. So I'm going to give it a 2 because it's underdeveloped.
It's a 2. Like to me, it was almost a 1. It was a chore to finish.
Yeah.
And so that is where we are on Game Changer, and we'll see you around.
Bye.